Okay, we are on week 15 of 24, January to June, the road to exams. And this one that we're looking at here is to do with the normal distribution. If you are looking for any extra help, I want to mention that I have been running for the last couple of weeks my Aiming for A-Star sessions. They have all taken place right now, but if you do want to get the recordings to any of those, they are just as useful. There are questions that I do in the session, but then there's also a set of questions you do afterwards. If you like the way that I teach things and you think, oh, actually, that'd be a good bit of revision for me, then obviously do have a look at those, and they are linked in the description. So let's kind of get going with this question. It says the records for a school athletics club show that the heights h meters achieved by students in the high jump is normally distributed with a mean of 1.4 and a standard deviation of 0.15. I'm immediately going to write that down, right? I'm going to say that the heights h have a normal distribution with a mean of 1.4 and a standard deviation of 0.15, like this. Find the proportion, that means just like the probability, of these students achieving a height of more than 1.6 meters. So it's asking for us to say, what is the probability that the height is greater than 1.6? Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how to use your calculator because you should know how to use your calculator for this. But I'm just going to go on my distribution mode on my graphics calculator, and I'm going to find the probability that it is greater than. So I'm switching it to greater than. I'm going to say that the x value is 1.6, the average is 1.4, and the standard deviation is 0.15. And my results for this say that the proportion is going to be 0.00912 blah 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 blah, but to three significant figures, that's 0.0912 to three significant figures. So like 9%, roughly 9% of students, roughly 9% of students can jump higher than 1.6 meters. The records also show that the time t seconds to run the 1500 meters is normally distributed with a mean of 330 seconds and a standard deviation of 26 seconds. The school's head would like to use these distributions to estimate the proportion of students from the school athletics club who can jump higher than 1.6 meters, we did that in part A, and can run 1500 meters in less than 5 minutes. State a necessary assumption about h and t for the head to calculate an estimate of this proportion. Well, with probabilities, we can only say if we're doing one and another, like event A and B, we can only do that calculation if they are independent. In reality, it's not likely that they will be independent because it's possible a very athletic student will be able to do a high jump well and probably do the 1500 meters well. Maybe not, but that's usually some kind of link we might expect to say. So for part B, I think we just need to say that H and T must be assumed to be independent, and then we pretty much know what part C is going to be. It's actually going to say work it out. So we're trying to find the probability that H is greater than 1.6 and the probability that the time to run the 1500 meters is less than 5 minutes. Now, if you did less than 5, that's not going to be good because the whole thing is in terms of, where does it say this? Seconds, 330 seconds, 26 seconds. So I'm going to need to change 5 minutes. That is going to be 5 times by 60, which is 300 seconds. So I'm trying to find out what is the probability that H is greater than 1.6 and that the time is less than 300. I'm going to work out this one, and we know means multiply. Well, I've already got the greater than 1.6. It's the 0.09121112 part. I'm just going to now figure out what this thing here is. Maybe I'll just do that to the side of the page. So they've told us that T has a normal distribution with the mean of 330 and a standard deviation of 26. I'm just reading it here. So a mean of 330 and a standard deviation of 26 seconds. So I'm going to calculate on my calculator the probability that T is less than 300. Okay, so I'm going to change it to less than. Obviously, it might be different on your calculator how you do this. So as long as you're getting it correct with your calculator, and then we should be okay. This is 0.12428 like this. So I can now fill that in over here, 0.1242816. I can multiply them together, and that should give us our proportion. So the two numbers I'm going to be multiplying by are 0.0912112. I've done a few extra decimals here, just so I don't lose any accuracy. 1242816. I'll do it just to three significant figures. That is 0.0113 to three significant figures. So in other words, about 11% of people should be able to do a high jump greater than 1.6 and a 1500 meter race in less than 5 minutes. But that's only if the students, the distributions are independent of each other. And then they throw in something else for part C of the question, part D of the question. Students in the school athletics club also throw the discus. The random variable D has a normal distribution with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. And it represents the distance in meters that a student can throw the discus. Given that the probability they can throw it less than 16.3 meters is 30% or 0.3, and the probability they can throw it more than 29 meters is 10% or 0.1, calculate the value of mu and the value of sigma. So sometimes in these questions, it's quite hard to know what to do. And when I do my Aiming for A Star sessions, I try and help us decode them by spending a lot more time looking at them. This one, we've got missing mu and missing sigma. So I'm going to write down the facts they told us. We're going to have to do some Z standardizing. So we have the probability that D is less than 16.3 is 0.30, but I'm just going to write it as 0.3. And the probability that D is greater than 29.0, I'm just going to write that as 29, is equal to 0.10, again, just 0.1. So we're going to use the Z distribution, which is the standard one, where mu is 0 and the standard deviation is 1, because we can't use this on the calculator. I don't know what mu is and I don't know what sigma is. So underneath this one, I'm going to figure out what would it be for the Z value. What does Z have to be less than such that the area is 0.3? So I'm saying to myself, I have a normal distribution that looks like this. I know that the area is going to be 0.3. And I'm trying to say, what is that value going to be? So I'm using the inverse normal distribution for this. Lots of different ways of doing it depending on what calculator you've got. I am going to just be sticking with my graphics calculator here. And I'm just going to change it so that mu is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. Because, of course, I'm using the standard normal distribution here. Okay, I'm going to set the area to the left is 0.3. So let's change that. And it tells me that this Z value that's down here is, as we would expect it to be, a negative. It is minus 0.5244 and then 0, 0. So I'm just going to use it like that. It is minus 0.5244. Now I knew it was going to be negative because 30% is less than 50% and the middle value is 0. So that question mark obviously had to be a negative if we're saying that that middle line is 0. Okay, and then for the other part, I'm going to be doing the same thing. The probability that Z is greater than something is 0.1. I can use this same diagram over here if I wanted to. So I'm now saying it's greater than something where the area is going to be 0.1. What is that value? So you could, if you wanted to, say that the area to the left is 0.9, or you could switch it around and say that it would be 0.1 on there. However you do this, I'm just checking on my calculator. I end up with that the Z value for this red one is going to be 1.28155 like this. That is 1.28155. It does keep going, but I'll just keep it in this kind of setup. So I think I'm going to need another blank page. I might as well add it in right now. We're now looking at the standardizing process. So to go from the D distribution to the Z distribution, what we're doing is we're taking D, we're subtracting the mean and dividing by the standard deviation, and that will give us the Z distribution. So I'm going to take the D value that we have here, I'm going to subtract the mean and divide by the standard deviation, and it will give me the Z value. I'm going to do that twice. So for this one that's on the left-hand side, it will be the D value, subtract the mean, divided by the standard deviation, and that will give me the Z value, the one I just crossed out by mistake. I will do the same thing over here. I'm going to take the D value, which is 29. I will subtract the mean and divide by the standard deviation. and that will give me the z value, which is 1.28155. We now just have simultaneous equations. So I get that 16.3 is equal to minus 0.5244 sigma. I've multiplied up by the sigma. I'm just going to add mu onto this side. Same over here, the 29 is going to give me the 1.28155. I'll multiply by the sigma, and I will add on the average, the mu, that I've got here. This equation and this equation I will put onto my simultaneous equations. They're not going to want to see that whole process. So I'll go to my equation solver for simultaneous. There are two unknowns. I have minus 0.5244 and 1 for this one equals 16.3. And for this one I have 1.28155 plus 1 equals 29. Hit the result button. And the first one is obviously the sigma. It tells me that sigma is, to three significant figures, 7.03. It is meters, but I don't think we're going to need that information. And then the average is 19.987 like this, which is just going to be 20.0 meters. And both of these are to three significant figures. That's the standard pattern that they would be looking for here. So the answers, I'm just going to double check. We've got this 9.12, this, I think I said 11% earlier. I did not mean 11%, by the way. I meant 1%. So earlier I think I said 11%. This is not representing 11%. It's only 1% of the students can do these things. So apologies, because I know I said 11% earlier. So we've got 9%, 1%, and then these two things. Challenging question. So we've got the 9%, the 1%, and we've got the 7.03. And as long as your mu is between 19.95 and 20.0 inclusive, which ours is, then you get the marks for this question. So when I do my aiming for A-star session for statistics, I spend a lot of time on the normal distribution and the binomial distribution, figuring out all these different skills and how to identify them. So that might be something you would like to check out. Like I said, that's all linked in the description. So that was week 15. Next week, we have something that looks like partial fractions, and then it looks like we've got some other stuff to do with binomial expansion. So I will see you next week.